I found this clip. I've seen it a couple times on Instagram and YouTube, so on and so forth, but it's talking about the 3 stages leading up to the death of an empire / society. And it has repeated itself historically. It's playing out right now in the United States. It's playing out globally in a lot of other countries, and it has played out in the Greek and Roman culture, amongst other societies. So it's a great reminder of where we're at today.
There's 3 stages, Ed. The first stage is the death of God. And once that happens, you sort of are castrated from a sense of a higher order and your reverence is gone. And once that happens, the moral structure above is castigated. So what happens next? The next stage is female sexual liberation. And I specify female sexual liberation, not male, because what happens is there's a guy named J.D. Unwin. He wrote his magnum opus called Sex and Culture. And he studied 86 different cultures through 5,000 years of recorded history. And he found that with the Sumerians, the Babylonians, the Athenians, the Romans, what they all had in common is once we give up our belief in God, women become sexually liberated. And once they're sexually liberated, men no longer want to fight to maintain their social cohesion. Friedrich Nietzsche writes about this in The Gay Science when he said that God is dead. And the last one is desecration of beauty and rewriting history. From reading all the literature, this is what's going to happen, I think.
Kind of like Rome?
Yeah, just like Rome. When you study every...
I mean, he's distilling... It's going back to the quote you just referenced.
Yes.
I would say I appreciate what he's attempting to communicate. It's interesting, though, that like many people are saying the same thing in similar ways. And so I really credit him for sharing it. I think there's some generalization in there that is more nuanced than the quote that you shared of like how we get here, you know?
Yeah, I think it's also clipped up, right?
True.
So we're not seeing the full conversation because it's a podcast that they're on.
But here's the thing. Either way, you know what I salute, though? He's sharing it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And we have to talk about this because he is not lying despite his presentation or timelines or his understanding of how the Roman Empire collapsed, is that a nation whose foundation is actually Judeo-Christian principles and a worldview that rejects that nation is in trouble. That rejects those principles and those values is in trouble. And so he's not wrong in pointing that out. Like Stalin, Hitler, Mao, like these weren't God-fearing men, right?
Not at all.
They weren't God-fearing men.
They thought they were gods.
Exactly. And so he's not wrong in that sense of like the quote-unquote death of God in a society does in fact lead to the destruction of man in society. In particular, by man, I mean men, and the exaltation of women's liberation. He's not wrong in that sense. Look at OnlyFans. Look at the pods we see. Girls, what was the clip we saw the other day? The girl's like, I went and had sex with 20 guys in 7 days or something.
I broke up with my boyfriend. I was trying to have sex with 20 guys.
I'm liberated, right? Yeah, all right. You're in bondage, actually. So he's not entirely wrong. And so shout out to, does he have a name?
This is the Ed Clay Show.
Shout out to the Ed Clay Show.
Repost from Seagram88. I don't know who that is.
Seagram, Ed Clay, all you guys keep on sharing because this is how this republic is kept. We have to keep talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely.